or they're hoping at least, to migrate a lot of their business to a subscription model. And so far, there's been many attempts at making those kind of subscription models work, none of which have really fully engaged the consumer. And so there's some very big challenges in that space ahead. In terms of actually, from a consumer point of view, are they working? Well, yeah. I mean, they seem like good things. A lot of people are interested in Last.fm, and certainly Spotify, I've introduced it to people myself and they've got it straight away. It's very simple, it's intuitive. So ultimately though, it's the business model behind those and how long, even with equity, which I'm assuming a lot of the labels have some kind of equity in Spotify, although I don't know that for sure. Even bearing that in mind, will the kind of revenues that it generates ever be enough to ultimately stand alone as a proper business?
Some of the key questions you've just stated that the Music Void was constantly asking in respect of these services. Moving on from that, what are your views on the ad-funded digital model, which allows users to download or stream tracks? Do you think they are going to survive? Are they really viable?
Yeah, well, the challenge obviously at the moment is to beat free, because for a lot of consumers, by no means all consumers, there's a lot of volume in the market that's happening still via, BitTorrent sites, other file sharing sites, or just kids Bluetoothing music or copying CDs. So the competition is on very much to beat free or to challenge free or to make something ultimately seem like it's free to the consumer. And personally, I think that if all of the rights holders can agree to it, the future of bundling in music access, whether it's the ISP model that Sky and Virgin are attempting, where you have DRM-free, downloadable songs, so you can literally port them wherever you want on your laptop, your phone. That kind of user functionality is really what people are ultimately, I think, looking for, possibly alongside a streaming service from them. But the usability factor is really key and the portability factor is really key at the moment. I mean, I think that's the single most challenged area where I think the business knows that it has to be on, working with what consumers want, consumers will accept, clearly technological solutions. But at the moment, ad-funded in particular looks like a difficult trick to pull off.
Okay. And coming back, I'd like to get your views on, we recently had oil prices skyrocketing, especially in the US. The US didn't know what hit it, and it is a very car-based nation, hence why radio has been so big there. With the sort of ever-increasing price of gas for cars, car manufacturers going down the tube, how do you think this will impact on radio's core audience in America?
Well, it will have some impact, clearly. But the biggest story, I guess, is, well, if people are still commuting somewhere or other, whether it's via train or bus or even walking to work, they are going to be, and they still are right now, able to carry portable music, portable radio with them. So the fact is that even if you're not in a car, if you are still having to make a journey, then radio potentially is a partner to that journey. And alongside that, clearly, if there's a strong on-demand offer, so whether it's a podcast or a download of a great piece of radio or a great piece of content that's been broadcast on the radio, you still are going to be able to experience that, whatever type of wherever you are, frankly, whether you're in a car or even if you're working from home, where radio has still an advantage in that it can be used as a kind of passive medium in the background. So say people stop having to commute to work and they're working more from home or home offices or even unemployed. I still see that radio potentially, if you work on the fundamental things that make radio great, absolutely will still have a place in people's future.
On a final note, really radio has always been seen by fans, music listeners, as almost editing the music out there and putting the good stuff through. Do you think that's one of its core unique selling points still to this day as compared to some of these other things that supposedly recommend, but there is no real editorial insight into why that music's coming through on those other platforms?
Yeah, there's no doubt that on the technology side, there's lots of smart individuals trying to come up with ideas that will somehow be a great recommendation engine for you. So whether it's using the wisdom of the crowds, trying to find other people that think like you, that have tastes like you, or whether it's some alternative modelling of editorialization. But so far as I can see, as far as I've ever experienced, there really isn't a solution yet out there that's as good or as authentic as a DJ or presenter presenter, or potentially, you know, bloggers are in that space as well, where you find a blog, you find an individual, you trust their taste, and you keep going back to them, and they're going to be the ones with the insight. And if they're doing their job well, they're going to keep being meaningful. They're going to keep being the place where artists come to them because, again, they find like-minded individuals. And those are the trusted kind of authorities. And I think that editorialization that an individual can have is still going to stand out in the future. It's going to be, you know, difficult to get yourself in those kind of positions, whether it's Perez Hilton, for instance, or a Radio 1. That's obviously a very well-established brand. And for us, I guess one of the key challenges is finding the future experts, the people that we need to bring on, that we can help nurture to the next level. I would already expect them to have developed to a certain level where they're already kind of a brand in the market that people trust for new music, and then we can take them up to the next level.
There you have it from George Ergatourdis on The Music Void. Thanks very much, George.
It's been a pleasure, Jacomi. Thank you.